Hello and welcome to Streamteam movie review. We haven't done one of these in a while, so I figure I should come back to doing these. We've mostly just been watching the movies in preparation for these, and we're a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of the uh, Batman, the Nolan Batman movies, which I actually have a video picked out for reviewing since there's been a lot of saying like it's a good movie, but it's not a good Batman movie. And Mr. Fanman, even though I kind of like some of his stuff, he doesn't present his arguments really well. It's a similar problem with Professor Geek, unfortunately, at points. But saying hi to the chat. Hi, James Knighton. Always a pleasure to see you. Hello, Hypatia. Always a pleasure. Good to see you. Now that we've said hi to the people in the chat, please welcome first our friends. Skids first.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Oh, hello there, my friends.
Good to see you guys. And now, let's see. What shall we use? Ooh, this one.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Hello. Does
You
that
gotta
mean everything I say is wrong, or is that the general
Yes,
vibe I
you're
give
always
off?
wrong. Hey, I'll be back. I need to get something right quick. I'll be back in 1 second.
Potassium. Anyway, so since everything I say is wrong, it doesn't matter what I say.
I think more it's just something you frequently say to the movies we're watching.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say all that if it wasn't wrong all the time.
Yeah, like Wheel of Time.
Yeah. Anyway, as Hypatia has pointed out, Alfred is the best part of all these movies.
Yeah, he is very, very good. That's actually the one on the right is my favorite Batman movie. It was one of my favorite Batman movies for a while, but I think that my reasons were based on
Facts and logic.
no,
I'm back.
no,
Welcome back.
It was the fact that Uma Thurman was very, very, very appealing to I think it was 11 or 12-year-old me.
And she was Poison Ivy, right?
Yep. Yeah, she was Poison Ivy. Yeah, she was Poison Ivy.
Well, she is indeed female.
Mhm.
I have standards beyond just female.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we find all the women in the Star Wars sequel trilogy attractive just because they're women.
Honestly, I don't even really like. Even like Alicia Silverstone is kind of like you come off as 16, even though like I know that you're older, and the babiness is kind of weird to me. It's very uncanny valley-ness.
Wait,
I guess she's like the girl version of Tom Holland. She looks way younger than what she actually is.
Well, the thing is, Tom Holland's actually a good actor.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, there were women in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I didn't spot any of them.
Well, yeah, I spotted a bunch of harridans, but I didn't spot any women. Yeah. Anyway, now that we've pissed off a lot of people, 50% of the political aisle, let's get going. So let's kind of start things off with the first Batman movie. So one thing that I want to kind of preface this with is each of these movies are kind of different than each other. At least the first three, and then the are different, but then the last two are pretty much the same.
You mean first two and the last two?
Well, I would say that Batman 1989 is actually kind of different than Batman Returns in some ways.
I mean, yeah.
Because Batman 1989 is more of a detective thriller than Batman Returns, which is more of a kind of crazy villain-centric film with Batman playing a support role.
Yeah, I mean these movies actually show us the origin of the villains more than the origin of Batman.
Yeah, because in this one,
I don't think that's even a technical. It's just a fact. It's like 3 minutes as opposed to 20 to 30.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have to set up Batman's villains. That way we know why Batman has to fight crime.
True.
I mean, if we don't have villains, then what's Batman gonna do? Stop bank thieves or whatever?
True.
Well, I don't know. I was just trying to come with a tough remark, but I was like, I don't know.
Well, there's kind of a big thing of like, it seems like Mr. Tim Burton was more villain interested than he was Batman interested. Like, Batman is kind of more of a mysterious figure, and you see like little bits and pieces, but it seemed like they wanted to make it a surprise as to who Batman was. Kind of a mystery around who Batman is, as opposed to you knowing who Batman is from get-go. If you've never seen any Batman media before, which at 1989 was probably quite a few, since comic books were kind of a niche thing for kids at that point in time.
Yeah.
At least superhero comics.
Yeah, like just superhero movies, I would say. Like, comics have always been pretty niche.
Yeah.
Well, they just got more niche because nobody wants to buy them. People just want to buy manga.
That is very true, actually. That's very true.
Hey, I'm just trying to spout facts.
Well, you gotta.
Yeah. And then just the odd thing that I really hate about this whole era of Batman is that he can't move in his goddamn suit.
Yeah, they clearly had to film around the fact that he could neither move his head or his arms properly.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to like hide this bear in Batman Begins.
Yeah. Mostly through shaky cam.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Bad lighting and bad lighting.
Well, thankfully, though, Dark Knight did fix all that. It was even aware of how he couldn't even move his head. So
yeah, I do have to say though, like, I think the main thing that people remember and it is the most memorable thing about this, is the Joker.
Yeah, I knew it. And it's collapsible gun.
Was that just a gun in your pocket, or were you happy to see me?
I was just, there are many things that I am willing to suspend my disbelief on. The fact that I have been around firearms multiple times and have actually had to take apart a gun for ROTC, just like, nope, bull crap. That is so stupid.
Well, not to mention that he uses that gun to shoot down a bat plane. Like,
he's he's basically dead shot. He's dead shot.
Yeah, what is that like? And that's not how a gun works. A longer barrel doesn't give you more power; it just makes it slightly more accurate.
Well, hey, there we go. That's the explanation of how he's able to hit it.
Well, was it a Desert Eagle? I've heard that can shoot through anything.
Screw Batwoman with a frickin' cactus.
Cactus?
Yes. It'll hurt. That's the point.
Yeah.
And I'm not threatening them with death. And I'm not threatening them with death, just pain.
And a prickly vagina. But anyways, I think Yeah, I think the biggest emphasis, or why there was such a big emphasis on Batman's villains, is because he has Batman does have a pretty good rogues gallery. They're all so colorful.
Yeah.
They also made sure to get pretty significantly bigger actors for the Batman villains than for Batman, and for the most part, since
Well, I mean, Michael Keaton is now pretty well known for his role as Batman.
I know, but it's kind of like I'm thinking of like at the time, since Jack Nicholson was so big that he could demand and got a percentage of the gross.
Yeah.
So to this day, Jack Nicholson is making money every time there's a significant DVD sale of Batman.
Yeah, or like a digital sale, Blu-ray,
Yeah.
any of that.
Yeah, anything related to this movie, Jack Nicholson makes money, and he's making money off of this to this day.
Yeah. Well,
But he's definitely different than Heath Ledger, mainly in that Heath Ledger. So Jack Nicholson's more creepy than he is scary, whereas Heath Ledger is terrifying.
hey, but at least this Joker is really entertaining.
Oh, he is exceptionally entertaining. Like, he just kind of. There's an argument to be made that he kind of just plays Jack Nicholson. That Jack Nicholson kind of just plays variations of Jack Nicholson in most of his roles.
He's just playing himself.
Yeah, with only like slight variations. But with this one, he kind of got to have a lot of fun and just dial up the nuttiness
Yeah.
and make a lot of really, really kind of dumb jokes, like that he somehow makes work. Like, indeed, the pen is mightier than the sword after he kills a dude.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, it's just funny stuff like that, which kind of creates an interesting contrast with Michael Keaton as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Yes, Mark Hamill is indeed the definitive Joker, both in terms of the fact that he is the voice that is permanently associated with the Joker, but also because he has spent longer in that as that character than pretty much anybody else.
Well, that is a good Joker laugh. I hear that and I immediately know, hey, that's a bad guy.
Hey, Mark Hamill's a legend, man.
Yeah. Though it's kind of just like, he's pretty much like most of his villains, like with Skeletor, he just played the joke. He just did his Joker voice.
Yeah, like in the Masters of the Universe, he really just sounded, Skeletor just sounded like the Joker, and it's like, oh, that's the Joker.
Yeah. It's kind of cool, but I would prefer, like I like Mark Hamill, but it's just like a little bit different. Like, make it not perfectly obvious what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine the Joker as a muscle-bound guy with a skeleton for a face. Or a skull for a face, I should say.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I guess the more accurate term is Jim Bunny.
Yeah, that works. But with Michael Keaton, like, he plays a very different kind of Bruce Wayne than the other Batmen on this, because he's very committed, but he doesn't play a playboy. He kind of plays the typical kind of introverted Tim Burton style protagonist. And if you've watched many of Tim Burton's movies, a lot of his protagonists are very similar, almost to the point where it's like he's writing himself into the film, like Johnny Depp as Depp's Willy Wonka, Batwoman, Batman. I mean,
How can you think Batwoman's better than Batman?
Well, if you don't think that,
No,
then
I
you're a sextism.
I'm fine to be a sexism, and if that's what it is, what somebody who actually likes good quality media is called these days.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's
Yes.
people. Hey, there's critics that do like Batwoman. Look at the Batwoman on Tomatoes meter.
Ugh. Mentally deranged, I swear.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm looking it up. I'm looking. Yeah, Batwoman season 1, 80% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Are you freaking kidding me?
No.
It's got a freaking 80.
Yeah, season
did they
1.
did they watch it?
Are you joking?
No, guys,
Are
it's
you
85. It's 85% on season 2.
are you kidding me?
85 for season 2. Did they watch it? Oh my gosh. That chick they got to be the new black woman, if you will. She is a sociopath.
Well,
Wow.
and there's no tomato meter for season 3.
Well, I just
Yeah.
find that it's like less people reviewed it, so it's probably lower. The initial season was 80% from 236 reviews, whereas the audience score from over 8,500 people is 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then it goes to 20 and 600, which kind of shows the interest is diminishing, thankfully.
yeah.
Well, I watched season 2 out of morbid curiosity. The biggest mistake of my life.
What is
Oh,
now? I'm just like looking at this, like a 30% critic score, but a 71% audience score. What is this?
well, I've never seen Second Chance.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, wait, it's a modern Frankenstein. What? Okay, derail. Okay, we're done. Okay, we're done. We
better get back to topic.
Yeah, but Michael Keaton, like he's kind of just a socially awkward loner.
Well, that's kind of what Batman is supposed to be.
Well, I mean, like even in his public life.
Yeah, because as Bruce Wayne, he's not trying to be a loner. He's trying to play up a playboy stereotype, so that way people are like, "Yeah, this guy doesn't actually care about crime."
Yeah, it could be like that is something that's kind of put on over the years, but it's kind of like Batman, like in this movie, is kind of a like, well, maybe not socially awkward, but he's kind of a like kind of laid back guy, but who's just slightly secretive. That is also true. He's kind of one of the few, like, he's the only Batman that I can think of who can smile in the mask and still be intimidating.
Yeah.
Wait, who smiles in what mask?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, like when he smiled in the first movie.
Oh, My memory's a little hazy. I don't remember the first movie that well.
Yeah, well, I think it's also number 2. Let me actually pull up some images.
Yeah, like where he smiles, like when he throws that guy into the dynamite.
Yeah, like when, like this one is Michael Keaton smiling. That's actually scary.
yeah. Scroll down to Batflick. Like when he smiles, it honestly is as convincing.
Or like this.
Yeah, like
I think the worst one is Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Like that's that just looks so lol. They all intimidating to me.
Well, I mean, it's Batman. If he's after you, you done do something wrong.
It's Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm Moses. Those are the exact same.
Well, you know what they say, Moses is the Batman of the Bible.
Well, Moses killed, so
Yeah, true.
yeah.
Moses killed a lot of people, though Joshua killed more.
Well, I know Moses, of course, killed that slavery guy, was the reason why he got kicked out of Egypt. And what do you count the fact that he closed the water on the Egyptians?
Well, I just mean that like Joshua cleared out multiple cities.
Oh,
Sometimes even to the rats.
wow.
Not kidding. The God of the Old Testament, the Old Testament Israelites, them's not screwing around. They were like, "There's some giants here. We are going to clear them out. They are clearly a spawn of Satan."
Yeah.
Yep. Which is why I say Joshua killed more people than Moses, factually. All right. But yeah, I think like the thing about Batman 1989, I think like some of the weaker element is Vicky Vale is kind of boring.
Yeah. And the romance is kind of boring too. Like at the end, when she was like, "When I first told you I loved you," it didn't really leave that much of an impact.
Well, considering she's gone by movie 2, like it's actually kind of a joke.
I mean, if all 4 of these movies are supposed to be the same continuity, that means Batman has had 4 love interests in these movies.
Yep.
Well, Batman's as much of a playboy as Bruce Wayne. It's almost like they're the same person.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting that we know more about the Joker in the 89 Batman, but in the Dark Knight we know more about Batman. That's actually something that Doug Walker brought up in his old versus new of Batman 1989 versus the Dark Knight.
Like he actually did that?
Yep. He did it a long time ago.
I know he did one for the Lord of the Rings movies.
And obviously the Lord of the Rings film, the actual Lord of the Rings films won.
Hey, it was 3-2.
It was 2-1 actually. Since the Return of the King doesn't even remotely measure up in any way.
I'm talking about like in terms of like when that's the results. Like the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings won 3 out of 5, and the other 1 2.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that they're all supposed to be playboys or whatever, but they're all ugly. Val Kilmer and George Clooney were kind of pretty boys in their era, but yeah, there's a little bit of like Michael Keaton is not exactly like usual leading man material, especially of that era.
Yeah, well, there's no accounting for taste. I mean, I've seen Too Hot for Handle. One of those guys was utterly hideous.
Yeah,
and all the girls were like, "Oh, he's so pretty."
Well, that's saying beauty's eye beholder. So obviously, people have taste.
Well,
we need to give the B to a new person.
Yeah, no, not all ugly. I forgot now. Cedric Diggory's Batman.
Oh, but I thought he died.
No.
George Clooney looks like an average Joe from My Village if you don't put him in his. Well, I just mean that like a lot of like. Well, I just mean that like in their era, Val Kilmer was considered like a heartthrob. Like he was the hot stuff back in the day. and similar with George Clooney. Was he done like a lot of like doctor work? Well, uh, like soap opera stuff. Like, don't believe that this was his break. I think he'd done some other stuff, but I just remember like he was like in a few like thriller movies.
Okay.
But it's kind of like Michael Keaton was like not like he wasn't considered like classically leading man handsome. As at least like compared to his counterparts, like later on, including Christian Bale.
Yeah, I mean Christian Bale is pretty convincing as like a playboy.
I would say so, especially like, but and it's kind of interesting to kind of look at the various different Batmen and kind of how they portrayed their role. Though, kind of the thing about Michael Keaton as Batman is that I'd have to count how much time. Like a lot of it is kind of focused around kind of the mystery of Batman rather than focusing in on Batman himself.
Yeah,
as a character study. And
I think that's fine. I mean,
which I think is fine. I just think I'm just stating a fact. I'm just stating a fact. I'm not like passing judgment on the fact itself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be used to help maybe some people who haven't seen anything Batman before.
I do think that this could be a good introduction. It is kind of one interesting choice that they made was to make the Joker, probably because they didn't believe that they would get any sequels.
Mm-hmm.
Was they decided to kill the Joker, but also make the Joker the person who killed Batman's parents to create almost a cyclical thing where Batman was created by the Joker and then he created the Joker.
Yeah. Hey, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah, I'm honestly not a big fan of when stories do that, where coincidentally everything just happens to be completely related by coincidence. Coincidentally.
Yeah, that's sometimes annoying.
Hey, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Well,
Mr. George Lucas, I like you as a person, but your filmmaking is terrible in many respects.
Why would you say that as a bad quote? We already talked about his stylistically decided to be that way.
Yeah, that one's worse.
How come?
Because it can be used to justify pretty much every single stupid decision in any movie ever.
Yeah, it's like poetry. It rhymes. It's like, let's see. Like Luke came to his house, saw it was burning with his parents dead, and then he was trapped under a house and saw that all of his pupils were dead. See, it rhymes.
And then Ray went to bury Luke at the place of his house that he wanted to leave.
Yeah, well, his lightsabers.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Ray, that wasn't Ray, that was Palpatine, because he said, you kill me and I'll possess your body. She killed him, and so he possessed her body.
Oh, God, yeah, you're right.
So Palpatine buried Luke's lightsaber there because he knew Luke would hate it.
Yeah.
I guess you're not wrong. Well, not to mention, remember, it was buried under sand.
Yeah. And it's a last screw you to Anakin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's like poetry. It rhymes. Like his mother was buried there, and so does his lightsaber. The last token of his memory.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any more to talk about this movie?
I don't really remember all that much about this one. I mean, there's just the comically oversized gun shooting down the bat plane, and then
I would say the movie's pretty funny when it wants to be, like that joke of how because the makeup was killing people, like those news reporters had to take the makeup off, and it looks really awful.
Yeah, I actually thought of that, where like they just like, and also just that that horrifying commercial with the plastered on mouth, like cut and paste mouths on
yeah.
those dead models is just like, wow, that's dark and
Also,
ballsy.
not to mention, when at the museum or wherever Vicky Vale was having dinner, like with Joker, and they were messing up those paintings, and that music was playing.
Yeah, Prince was such an interesting choice for this movie. I'm just like, it kind of works strangely enough at certain points, but it's like, huh. I don't know why you ever concluded Prince and Batman, these go together.
Well, Batman's a prince.
Well, Joker. No, it's Joker in that scene, and Joker's the Prince of Crime.
He's
Oh,
the
that's
clown
true.
prince of crime.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they just saw Animaniacs and they wanted to make that joke come to life. Fingerprints.
Well, yeah. See, it's poetry.
Mm-hmm. It rhymes because it's true.
Yeah.
Nicholson is, I think Jack Nicholson is just scary on his own. Yeah, he is kind of creepy. He does creepy very well. I think that Heath Ledger is scarier though.
Yeah. No one. And how about Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin Phoenix? I more feel sorry for Joaquin Phoenix than I am scared of him.
Well, his Joker or the character or the person, I should say.
I'm
Well,
talking
I was
about his
talking about-
portrayal. Since
Yeah, I was talking about Joker. That's what I was
Yeah.
referring to.
well, I mean, like, as a person, Joaquin Phoenix more comes off as like just Phoenix is pure evil.
Yeah, pure evil.
He's he. Forget what I said about Michael Keaton's Batman being kind of a like in socially awkward loner. That describes Joaquin Phoenix perfectly. Like he is like a really weird interview. Like he hates being on interviews. Clearly, like he like is like very recalcitrant a lot of the time. Maybe
Recalcitrant. That is a word that exists.
So I guess now we can talk about Batman Returns.
yeah.
Or more likely, Batman doesn't actually make a return, and he just returns to the cinema.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Batman.
it's mostly
Batman
just-
was
It's
always
the
there.
Penguin and Catwoman movie. It's the
Yeah.
Penguin and Catwoman movie.
Yeah, I guess the reason why this movie is called Batman Returns is why they didn't just call it Dark Knight Rises Batman Returns. Because actually, Batman Returns, I think, is a more fitting title for Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, but they couldn't take it because Batman Returns already exists.
Yeah, Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and then Batman Returns. See?
It rhymes.
Yeah. Still would have been a bad movie.
Yeah,
though.
it just would have been more accurate to what the movie actually was, like what the movie was about.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Stay
Gesundheit.
tuned for what that means.
Okay.
But basically, it starts off with a Dark Moses parallel with the Penguin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the penguin. He got his parents dropped him into the lake, and because they wanted him to die, he ate a cat.
Didn't
Hey.
help my fear of birds one bit. You and my sister both have a fear of birds. It's actually like little story. My sister is deathly afraid of birds. So when we were at Disneyland and there's a bunch of seagulls running around, what my sister Fia put some like crumpled birds, like bird food, in front of my sister Ari, who's scared of birds, and seagulls just came down right in front of her and just freaked the crap out of her. So much so that like she grabbed her shoe off and was just flicking it at the birds, trying to get them away from her.
My
Right? Yeah. Yeah. But this movie is very much Batman cameos in a Penguin and Catwoman movie.
Yeah, I think this movie is where Batman has the least amount of screen time.
Yeah.
I watched the Screen Junkies video on this, and they did show that. I'm gonna look it up actually.
Yeah, well, I did. I did kind of enjoy Catwoman, although I'm still confused about her because she fell out of a window, hit her head on a thingamadoodad, and then some cats bit her, and then she woke up a psychopath obsessed with leather and bad memory.
Well, hey, it's head damage. Head damage caused that crap.
Yeah. And apparently gives you 9 lives and the ability to survive bullet shots.
Hey, this movie's very stylized. Like,
Yeah.
It's. I said that the movie is also kind of cartoony.
Oh yeah, this was the one where they stole the schematics for the Batmobile just so they could put something underneath it that allowed it to be remote controlled.
By a weird, like, what are those things? Buck and Bronco.
Hey guys, I just looked it up. Screen Junkies. Batman Returns has Batman's least amount of screen time, only 31 minutes and 15 seconds. Just 30 minutes behind Batman and Robin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, does that count when he's on screen as Bruce Wayne or just Batman?
I think probably both, because they said that Batman Begins, he has the most amount of screen time, and it's 69 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm guessing he's probably including both at Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not very good with time, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. This is very much I think that this kind of portrays Mr. Burton's focus. Like, because Batman isn't much of a loner type, he's more just kind of a cold, distant observer to a lot of this. But he taking an active hand when he needs to. The main character of this movie is Penguin.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
many respects.
he got the opening scene, and it was all his ploys and plans and schemes and stuff that moved the plot forward.
Plus,
Batman,
not to mention, he had a funeral where penguins
dragging his fat, bloated ass down into the toxic sludge of the sewer.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. I laughed when I saw it.
Yeah, that scene is so tonally weird. I have no idea what they were going for.
They were going for the penguin being dragged into the water by a bunch of penguins after he died. How did he die anyway? It was Batman, wasn't it?
No. I think that he's stuck. I think that Batman stuck like a bunch of the homing beacon for a bunch of his bombs on him.
Oh yeah.
So it's basically Penguin hoisted himself on his own petard, but Batman still basically killed him. Because that's the thing about Burton Batman. He's like the Batman of the early comics, where he is okay to kill people.
Yeah, I mean, he at least doesn't go out of his way to kill them. It's just that it's not like he tries to outright stop any and all killing.
Well, sometimes some people just gotta die, you know?
Like when, I think one time when, he barbecues one of Penguin's clown goons.
Oh yeah, the guy was breathing fire, and then he hairsprayed the fire back into the guy or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, and also not to mention when he shoved that dynamite down that dude and threw him into that pipe.
Yeah, that man's dead.
Actually, he only kills 2 people in this movie, so it's still less than how it was in the first movie when he blew up that factory.
Oh.
And not to mention how he grabbed that dude with his legs and threw him down.
Oh yeah, he did get knocked down into the toxic sewage and his injuries. Okay.
Okay. Batman's free. Okay, Batman didn't kill him. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if he had purple gloves. I know he had gloves. And apparently the PR team managed to spin him biting off somebody's nose as, he's quirky.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that would be multiple assault and battery. That would be assault and battery.
Yeah, well, I mean, people did turn it towards the end of the movie when Bruce uses that recording of that stuff, bad stuff he said about Gotham. And there was that joke here where it was like, why do they always bring eggs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who brings cabbages to a speech?
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone. Who doesn't?
Yeah, that's funny. That's a pretty funny joke.
Yeah.
And
since
go for it.
Yeah, and since the Penguin's straight, that means he's not allowed to get away with crime.
Yes. Batman of the early comics. Yeah, I believe that was the one with the purple gloves. I think often the purple. I think even like purple Batman suit period. There is some weird.
Valerian says Catwoman almost had an art.
Yeah, it's kind of like her and Bruce have a thing, and it's like, this was actually brought up by Jeremy Johns, but watching it, I fully agree. Michelle Pfeiffer in this movie is kind of, it's like she's perpetually in heat.
Yeah.
Not quite as bad as Chase Meridian, but she's kind of one of those like slutty girls that's just that some girls like just kind of that some guys will say, I don't even need you to be hot or intelligent. I just need you to be you. And it's just, that's kind of the attitude that some boys have. There's some, that's kind of one of the things about Batman Returns is that Batman Returns has the biggest tonal shifts out of most of these movies, apart from maybe kind of Batman Forever, but we'll get to that in a second.
Batman, yeah.
Or, it's boiling acid. We did 15 takes, and that was the best one.
No, it was 30. Yep, I think you said 30. It's like or is it 20? I can't remember. It's like we did 20 takes, and that was the best one.
Yeah, that's the thing. Catwoman, the Halle Berry one, is not just one of the worst comic book movies. It's one of the worst movies.
Oh God, we need to watch that. We need to watch that.
Yeah, I think I saw it once. Is that the one where her main love interest works as a guy who can identify people based on the way they write or whatever?
I think he was a cop or something. I think that's what the idea was. I don't know. I've only seen reviews for this movie. I've never seen the actual movie itself.
Yeah, it's basically premises the soul of Bast, the Egyptian cat goddess, revives her, and apparently this lady who used to be a professor and got kicked out for stating this as part of her thesis got kicked out, and the reason why that she cites, guess what it is?
What?
Male academia. Yep. One that killed his wife. I can't remember. The one that killed his wife. Are you referring to the guy in Batman and Robin? Uma Thurman wasn't married to that guy. He wanted her to be his main squeeze, but she said, "How dare you corrupt my research?
Yeah.
She clearly knew what kind of movie she was in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless you mean Perrin from The Wheel of Time, but that's an entirely different thing.
Oh, the one that gives money to Penguin.
No, you mean
He doesn't-
Shrek?
Max Shrek?
Oh,
he
the
doesn't
guy who
kill
pushed.
his wife. He just pushes his secretary out the window.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, she was a bad secretary, and she also
Yeah.
got to the bottom of his corruption.
Yeah, I know the guy who plays Shrek was the same guy who was on Saturday Night Live. He was like, Mark Cowbell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I was a little bit, the only thing that I was confused about was the wife thing, but yeah. This one is like, Christopher Walken is like allowed to be so weird.
Oh yeah, that was Christopher Walken.
Yeah, and like just he's less like crazy. He's actually more articulate than a lot of his other performances where like I think like in Kangaroo Jack, he's in the movie very briefly as the main character's stepdad. And he just like the way he says anathema is so funny.
Mm.
Where it's just by virtue of his is like just
telling you, fellas, you're gonna want that cowbell.
Yep, this is the guy.
yeah.
Mhm.
Christopher, that's him. Sorry, I'm bad with names. No, you're fine. Like
Yeah.
it was just, I think if it was killed as assistant, I would have understood that would have been fine. But yeah, there's a lot of weirdness going on with this movie. Like there's just like this is kind of the movie where they said realism. What is that? We don't know the meaning of the word.
Mhm.
And they just kind of went for it.
Hey, for all the stuff as weird as Tim Burton movies are, I still like them.
Oh, I still like them. They were fun to watch. I don't know if I would watch them again anytime soon. But I still very much enjoyed them. I think they're good party movies more than they are like solo viewing.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I always hate about the realism as applied to video games and movies and stuff is it always makes me think of this one quote I heard in regards to The Legend of Zelda, where I think I'm probably going to get the quote wrong, but the lead director would always tell his team to focus on realism instead of reality. So make sure that everything in the game makes sense within the game rather than making sure it makes sense in the real world.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I mean. Like, even in its own thing, it doesn't make sense. Like, how does the Penguin get into office, especially after he bites somebody's nose off?
Well, I don't think he gets to office. He was just elected for office.
Well, he's running for office and nobody talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't he winning like polls and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, until Batman used that recording and turned the city on him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who was he running against anyway?
No, nobody really. Apparently, he was married unopposed. He was running unopposed.
Okay, what's next? Oh yeah, let's talk about Batman Forever now.
Okay, this is where it gets actually fun. Like, this movie's so bad. Like, this movie. We did a stream on it a while back where we covered most of this movie in exacting detail because Mr. Hightop is a biased moron.
Yeah, this movie's a misunderstood masterpiece. You don't know that?
Oh, yeah. I didn't understand it at all. It clearly was a masterpiece and not horribly constructed and makes no sense. And why wasn't Batman doing anything?
Also, and also he claims. Also, here's the thing about it where he's like, there's this unseen cut made of the deleted scenes where Batman is psychologically torturing himself because he thinks it was his fault that his parents died because he wanted to see a movie. And then at the end, it is revealed that he was not, in fact, responsible, and that his parents
had planned to see a movie anyway.
So it's basically the same failing as The Lion King, where it's like, you have been guilty over this for most of your life, and now you don't need to feel guilty about it at all.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what Batman needed. Unresolved conflict that gets resolved, or whatever. I don't know. Words.
I actually don't think that's a nuclear take. Batman and Robin Batman Forever is kind of trying to be at least somewhat like intelligent. It fails miserably, but it's trying. Batman and Robin does not try. Yeah, like Skids agrees with me. It doesn't even try. It's like,
yeah, Batman and Robin was very over the top, very comical. Everyone just seemed to be doing their own thing because they realized, oh, this is a joke movie. I'm going to be over the top and dramatic.
Yeah, and also just Poison Ivy making sex puns and plant puns, and Mr. Freeze making a bunch of ice puns.
Kill the dinosaurs. Yeah, I say.
Or, I'll help you grab your rocks. It's like, there's something about an anatomically correct rubber suit that puts fire in a girl's lips. It's like, what? Yeah. But let's talk about Batman Forever. Like, very briefly, this movie's a mess. Clearly, like, Tommy Lee Jones did not care about this movie. He didn't give two craps.
Yeah. Well, and I just hated this one the most because the entire time Batman isn't doing anything about Two-Face and the Riddler, even though their crime spree is on front page news. And the only time Batman confronts either of them is when he just happens to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. And also, like, just the fact that, like, he's being sexually harassed by this psychotic psychologist who should not have ever gotten into, ever passed as any kind of master's degrees. Yeah, I don't know if it's the worst Phantom of the Opera, since the Rat Phantom of the Opera exists.
Wait, was it directed by a rat, or did it star a rat?
No, it's actually weirder. It's basically the Phantom was raised by rats. And there's actually a scene where rats are climbing all over him. And he actually has sex with Christine and looks like he just looks like a creepy weirdo.
So
well, I know.
We gotta at least talk
Jared
about
Butler
Jim Carrey.
Singing
we need to
is
talk about Jim
bad.
Carrey.
Jared Butler singing is bad, but this is worse.
Okay,
This is significantly worse. But yeah.
Can we talk about Jim Carrey now?
Oh yeah, Jim Carrey. Oh my gosh.
Does anyone smell like a fried egg?
Yeah. Jim Carrey was in this movie. I don't know what villain he was playing, but he was definitely Jim Carrey.
They're both playing the Joker.
So we had the Joker and the Joker versus Batman and Robin. And this is the movie that basically solidified that Batman should work solo because Robin was useless dead weight.
Yeah.
The moment Robin suited up and tried to help Batman fight the bad guys, he gets kidnapped and forces Batman into a "you must choose one person to save."
Yeah,
And then
and
he just
that gets
does.
resolved by
Well,
just by
both.
throwing a batarang.
And then he just says, "How about both? Both is good."
And then he saved both.
I could not believe it was that easy. Like,
Kind of depends.
I mean, all
Yeah,
he did
it's
was
a
just throw a batarang straight. Like, it's not like he did anything super clever.
yeah. Like, I don't know who was playing, but it was definitely Jim Carrey. Every Jim Carrey film ever. Depends on the Jim Carrey film. He in The Mask and The Truman Show, as far as from what I've seen, those are the two films that he's not like crazy over the top like he's playing like in Ace Ventura or this movie. Like both Ace Ventura movies, he is way over the top.
Yeah, but I did like him in Ace Ventura, like an over the top eccentric detective,
Yeah.
and then he actually displays good detective skills.
Yeah, and like it is kind of like, I don't know, like it's kind of funny to see like a lot of woke people hate on those movies because they see it as the first movie is transphobic and the second film is racist. Admittedly, the second one is a little bit racist.
Not as much as Transformers 2.
Well, it's focusing on a stereotypical African tribe. And they're like, it's like every single like African stereotype. It's like, okay, it's not racist enough for me to not laugh, but it's definitely a little bit racist.
Right. Well, didn't he befriend one of the African tribes by getting humiliated a bunch?
I think he did, yeah. But then he deflowered the chief's daughter.
Oh. Oh, no, you don't do that.
Yeah, especially when she's supposed to get married and go in as a virgin. And then like they chase him off into the sunset at trying to kill him.
Yeah. So how about we'll talk about Two-Face?
Two-Face sucks.
What about him?
Two-Face, like it's like they're kind of trying to do the duality thing, but the problem is there's no difference.
Yeah, like they tried to do that duality, that stupid symbolism. Like, remember that?
Or like the set design is like half of it is very angelic, and then this other half is demonic, and then there's two meal choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of duality stuff, but not there's nothing about the character in the writing that indicates he's got a dual nature, and we don't really get why he's so obsessed with duality, aside from the fact that exactly half of his face got maimed.
Yeah, well, the explanation was weird. Like, it was asked in front of the courtroom. Somehow Batman was in that courtroom trying to stop it.
He was in the jury. We went over this.
Batman, it's your turn for jury duty.
Jury duty, blackmail, ping slip, eviction notice, jury duty.
Yeah, we know that you live in Bruce Wayne's basement, so we're just gonna mail it to you there.
Well, and it's just like also just, admittedly, Robin is, I think, like, you remember that bit when Robin is like kung fuing the stuff onto the clothesline? You remember that bit?
Yeah,
that was dumb. That was so dumb.
Yeah,
like,
Robin sucks in this movie.
He kind of does. He's kind of and like he steals the Batmobile and takes it for a joyride. Admittedly, this happened in the comics, but it's still stupid.
Well, if it was stupid in the comics and it's stupid in the movie, then it was just stupid, and they could have improved it in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to be chained down by the original if you're adapting something.
Yeah, like with Legend of the Seeker and Sword of Truth. Sword of Truth is some of the worst fantasy I've ever read.
Mhm.
It's like is full of annoying Deus Ex Machinas. Yeah, we really haven't gotten Robin. They're also somewhat terrified. They're also DC is terrified of any corruption of the innocent jokes. Are you familiar with that?
Oh, you mean how they always thought how one of the fear-mongering things for Batman was, oh, he and Robin are a gay couple.
God.
Even though like they cast somebody who is old enough as Robin, like him and Batman could legally have sex and it would not be like pedophilia.
God.
And as much as Robin was going on and on about wanting to be Batman's partner, it was clear that they weren't romantically or sexually interested in each other.
Yeah. I mean, think about what Robin's straight afterwards. Like, I know Dark Knight Rises, it teases some type of Robin spinoff that went nowhere. And
well, I don't think it was even a Robin spinoff so much as Seduction of the Innocent. I might have got it wrong. It's something of the Innocents. It's stupid either way. But it's kind of weird that it's one of the reverse whitewashing. Like it's kind of one of those whitewashing things that weirdly happened. That kind of now it's kind of been shifted to ginger. Pretty much every ginger in existence in comic books as well as in certain other things except for Rand have been cast as black actors, which
gingers have souls. Gingers have souls.
Yeah,
and I was also about to say in Batman vs Superman they just kill Robin off screen, just happy it's the arbitrary motivation for Batman to kill people.
Yeah, well, they want the payoff, but they don't want to do the setup.
Yeah.
There is kind of an element that they're kind of using visual storytelling, but the problem is with just the fact that the movie around it is mostly badly written.
Yeah, and mostly. It's entirely badly written.
Yeah, true. Not quite as bad as it's kind of comparing garbage to garbage, but I think that Wonder Woman 1984 is worse than Batman v Superman. I think it's a fair conclusion to make.
I'll have to see Wonder Woman 84.
Maybe we'll have to put that on the bad comedies. Well, no, we have enough bad comedies on the list. We're already watching Cat in the Hat.
Wonder Woman 84, I think it's more of an unintentional comedy.
Yeah.
Okay. So
unintentional comedy. Sometimes that's the best comedy.
Okay, now let's talk about Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Ice Pun City. Ice and Plant and Sex Pun City with really stupid jokes. like, I want a car. Chicks dig the car. This is why Superman works alone.
Yeah. Or let's not talk about Bane's disguise.
He just wears a trench coat and a cap over his luchador mask.
Yep, it's very convincing.
Yeah, that was just the most hilarious part. We got this picture of them going through customs, and it's just her standing there looking seductive with Bane in the trench coat and the top hat, and it's like, how did you not spot that sooner?
Yeah, it's just like, how? It's like, these must have been the two that broke out freeze. You think? Or like, how, like, it's mostly just like so many bad things, so many bad decisions.
Yeah.
At
And,
least,
like,
and
a laundry service that delivers. Wow.
he delivered that so flatly. It was hilarious.
Or like so many bad ice puns, and not just from Mr. Freeze, from
Yeah.
everybody around it, like the stupid guards talking to Mr. Freeze. It's like, hey, you're going to be spending a long time in the cooler, Mr. Cold, or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
My God. Not to mention, there's also the fact that the whole Batman and Robin thing, dynamic is really bad.
But as far as I'm aware, Mr. Raphael was making sure to not be caught on camera, nor was he trying to, nor was he the subject of a manhunt. Also, those prosthetics look much better than anything in this movie.
Yeah.
What, the ones on Raphael?
In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the one in the, I think it was the 80s. I have to take a look.
Yeah. For a minute there, I thought you were talking about. I think it was the most recent live action one where they look like shit, literal shit.
Why bring it up? Why you bring up Michael Bay? Why?
Directed by Michael Bay. That explains so much. So much.
Oh my God, I hate Michael Bay so much.
A lot of people do, yeah.
Can't imagine why.
Doesn't help that he's a sociopath.
Yeah, good thing he barely does anything anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, she was actually she clearly knew what kind of movie she had been in, and I think that she had gotten some kind of Oscar for a previous performance, and it's amazing.
Yeah, too bad that she looks progressively worse as time goes on.
Yeah, I think Capacia put it best, when she basically does a strip tease and takes off the gorilla suit, that is pretty memorable. That you don't that's pretty memorable. I do think that the auction is kind of nuts. Why is Batman at an auction?
Well, someone was going to buy him.
No, as far as I know, it's just the ladies.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
I agree. This was made as a joke. They say, "Okay, people, we're making a cartoon." Was literally what was said on set by Joel Schumacher to get people in the mood.
Also want to bring up the password. Alfred's password.
That's Peg. It's Peg. It's 3 letters. No.
Well,
that's
it's still
dumb.
It's still buried in the password in Batwoman.
That is also true.
0.01 seconds to hack.
Yeah. Well, and at least he decided to go with his kink rather than a person's name.
Yeah, and Batman is the best one. I think that the Uma Thurman is the best live action Poison Ivy. But that's only because most of the other Poison Ivies have been bad. Unfortunately, they ruined Bridget Regan.
Wait, what other live action Poison? Are you talking about from Gotham?
Gotham and Batwoman.
Oh God. Well, I got to say I can't think of any other Poison Ivies in any movie.
Yeah, that's because there aren't any. Because there have only been Poison Ivies in TV. Because this movie was considered such box office poison that nobody has ever done Poison Ivy since, other than as a one-off character in TV.
Which is a real shame because honestly, Poison Ivy was probably the best part of this movie.
Yeah, it's a tie between her and Mr. Freeze because Batman's freaking boring. It's not even that he's not like macho enough or doesn't kick enough butt. It's just that he doesn't do anything. Can't a villain just be a villain? Well, that's kind of why we find this movie so fun, is because, well, Mr. Freeze has a sympathetic motivation. Poison Ivy's, as you said, is just crazy. Only wish that Poison Ivy's power worked on girls. Well, here's the thing. I imagine there are a lot of gay women that really like Uma Thurman in this movie. There are probably, yeah, she does play it really crazy, like but also like she plays it initially like she is this hysterical crazy woman, and then when she comes out of the ground half naked as Poison Ivy, she abruptly gets sex appeal. Like she abruptly like knows how hot she is.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else to talk about?
Alicia Silverstone was a terrible choice for Batgirl, and she's a terrible actress in this movie. Like,
how is she like in other movies?
I know that she was in the Alex Rider movie. The singular Alex Rider movie, because movie bombed really bad, and so they didn't make any more in that series. She was okay. It's kind of weird. Gay in the yeah, I think she's bi. Yeah, there's kind of, well, either she's bi or there are kind of jokes about, there are kind of a bunch of like Harley Quinn shacks up with Poison Ivy, and they're probably with everyone, and I buy it.
Yeah,
I think like she comes, like it's mainly her delivery.
Yeah,
it's
well,
that just kind of like it's weird.
Well, the hilarious thing isn't it? Didn't they come up with Harley Quinn so that way the Joker wouldn't come across as gay for being obsessed with Batman? But it ended up exacerbating that problem even more, because now he was ignoring the attractive lady who wanted to do anything for him in favor of pursuing Batman.
Yes. Well, I don't think there's anything else to discuss.
Other than like there's some little like dumb production things, like when did you guys notice the floppy icicles?
Floppy icicles?
Yeah, literally like it looks like you know how kind of usually icicles are extremely stiff and they don't move? These ones look like they were made out of putty.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's hard to notice. Like, it's kind of a blink and you miss it while Gotham is defrosting. Like, when a cop opens the door, it's like, let me actually find that. That's actually a really like funny mess up.
Yeah. Well, it's probably just because I'm not that observant, but yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah. There's also like just weird stuff, like the costume change in the middle. Near the end, where they just put on silver costumes because this movie was made with the intent to be toyetic.
Yeah, well, all good heroes take a break from fighting crime to change their outfits. Batwoman did it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still stupid. Yeah, I think that like girls could be super. I think that's a good message. I just think I think that part of it's like Alicia didn't get that good of direction. I think that possibly because I think that like she didn't really know what she was doing as like her first main thing. So I don't necessarily blame her. I think that like most of like the women in this movie the only one that really made like that is like stands out is Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. I think that's mainly because Uma Thurman was a very established actress at the time and like knew exactly what kind of movie she was in and said and she was so annoyed with everyone around. Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
that describes me at work most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just the it does look pretty cool. It does look unique. Like it is very, very neon as opposed to the silvers and grays of Burton, where it's basically like exploding with color, and including Batman explodes with color when he really shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
The
Yeah,
black
yes.
suit is made for stealth.
Yeah. Well, technically, like purists like Professor Geek say that it should be gray rather than black.
No, dark
Yeah.
blue, so that way it blends
Yeah.
in with the night.
Only work with black. And sometimes very, very dark gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the real Batman right there.
Yeah. And honestly, like I think the black looks cooler.
Yeah.
Say what you will about this film, it's got style.
It
Yeah.
does got the
Yeah.
style.
It falls flat with style.
Yeah. Allow me to break the ice. I'm afraid my condition has left me cold. Do you please mercy? It's like, Mr. Freeze is so funny in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
Arnie's just this like 200-pound gorilla just having a ball, just doing nutty things. He was specific, like he didn't actually audition for this part. He was actually asked personally by Mr. Schumacher to be in this movie as Mr. Freeze.
Ooh.
Mm.
Like he said, the movie will not work without you in the movie. And I would agree. Arnie makes this movie extremely memorable.
Yeah.
Like I honestly find him even more entertaining than Jack Nicholson. Because it's basically he is so mismatched for this part. Even like in terms of how it's written, like how they're trying to make him sympathetic by putting in the wife story from Heart of Ice,
Yeah.
where they're trying to like give him the wife story, make him sympathetic. Whereas with Poison Ivy, not really. No, that they just kind of like go nuts. Go nuts. Here's the script. Just do it. Make it hammy. You know what you're doing. It's like, yeah, like many, and like, I think that like they were definitely going with with at least like with the suits for Batman and Robin, they were like, let's just make it like Greek statues that have perfect bodies. And it's like, you do realize that it has no practicality at all, and even your actors cannot move properly in these suits, right?
Well, who needs to move properly when you look sexy?
Yeah.
You lie.
You're right.
Yeah,
Well-
there's so many instances of bad dubbing.
Yeah.
Adam and evil.
Yeah. Oh my
Hey,
God.
Freeze. The heat is on.
Well, I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's kind of the
Okay.
thing about Batman and Robin is it's one of those movies that's been talked about to death, and you could go into a blow by blow of each bad thing in the movie,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but I
It's
got
so
some stuff to do,
entertaining.
so I gotta leave.
yeah, makes sense. But yeah, this was like nice and quick.
Yeah.
Like we're able to cover 4 movies in an hour 20.
Yep. And
Yeah.
now, and I guess eventually covered the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Batgirl. It's not like PC. What about Batperson or Batwoman?
Yeah.
First Gotham, then the world. Just what I was thinking. I cannot do
Yeah.
an Ermin impression to save my life, but that's because I have a very base register.
Oh,
Anyway, I think we will call it good there.
yeah.
I will be trying to release our commentaries. I've been doing as putting them out as quickly as I can. I've got a very large backlog since it went down.
Yeah.
Since the last Rumble thing went down, but thankfully I've uploaded most of the best ones. I need to do the Transformers ones again.
Yeah. We need to preserve that moat with Tarek.
Yeah.
What? Where Tarek found the Transformer testicles for the first time?
No, it was when 30 minutes into Transformers
45.
4. Oh yeah, I need to post that on YouTube because that
Do
was
it.
really funny. Where he just started yelling at the camera,
Yeah,
like, yeah, and just like utterly just like broke. It's just like, why is this 4 hours long, 3
Yeah.
hours long? What is wrong with you, Michael Bay?
Yeah, what is wrong with Michael Bay?
Yeah. And that was the first time I was on stream with you guys, so that was one of my first impersonations of Tarek.
Yeah. Well, we will see you guys later. I will be hopefully uploading some stuff soon. If you want to look at the Rumble stuff, I announce the stuff on there pretty frequently. I need to continue with the Too Hot to Handle commentaries because those are fun to kind of see. Oh, so you're blowing money on kisses and sex. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
blowing
people do that with whores every day.
Oh.
Not like this. I think there's one thing where they lose I think over the course of 24 to 48, somewhere between 24 and 48 hours, they lose somewhere in the vicinity of $72,000.
Hmm.
Yep. Anyway, I think we will conclude it there. See you later. Bye.
Bye.